Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Ulai Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. Your reading is activated. As soon as you click on that thing, you start to hear my most enchanting voice. Your reading is activated. This is being recorded on November 17th, 2025, and it will come out on November 18th, 2025. And I just like to mention the date so you know when it was recorded, the context of the greater collective. You can go back on your calendar and see what was going on that day. All right. So we have the Hierophant. This is a serious energy. This is the energy of somebody who leaves modern life to pursue their what? Their calling, their faith, the grace that they know, that they dwell within, to become more learned, to become closer to God, Goddess, the divine. These are the high priests. These are the monks. These are the sadhu, These are the people who go against the modern, go against society. Not in a malicious or malevolent way. Not at all. No, these are those who often will live fairly cloistered lives. They will live in communities of people that have a similar vision, a similar faith. These are people who will go completely solitary, live alone or, maybe with a family even, but not doing their initiations and their worship, their devotion in a group setting, or probably not even with a partner. This is just their path. And so when we get this card, it's one that I personally, kind of envy. I always wanted to be a nun. I'm not, I wouldn't consider myself like a Christologist or a Christian, although, Christ is very present in my work, and many of the aspects of that channel of consciousness, but, I was not, and I am not, and I couldn't go be a nun, and, a Catholic nun anyways. But bro, even from a young age, that was the dream, dude. Going off and living in a place where you just were alone in your relationship with yourself, with the divine. You were able to read and do humble work, and that's just, even now I'm sign me up, man. So when I see this card, I know this is kind of the energy, right? Now you might not be leaving your life, but I do feel for one reason or another, there seems to be a renewed interest in your spiritual life, your spiritual well-being. And we're going to see how this goes together with these tea leaves, which I'm going to say from the very jump here, it looks like you have a lot of stress going on in your life right now, a lot of anxiety. The number 343, 343. We also have E4 and E3. And we have the word map, M-A-P, map. M-A-P, right there. So we're looking for a map, maybe. Now, what's going on with all this anxiety? We have, it looks like a caretaker right here, a person. Here's the head, here's the body, arm extended out. Now we have 2 children, one here, maybe a baby. Okay. It looks like we have, they're like almost holding balloons or maybe kites, but it's shaped as a person. We also have the crab over here. I almost kind of feel like you're in a situation where maybe it's your children, maybe it's your grandchildren, maybe it's your nephews and nieces, but there seems to be a thing where these kids are almost kind of in charge of the emotional well-being of somebody in their family, probably one of their parents. I'm thinking it's a masculine person. It feels very grumpy, very closed off. The kids are constantly, going out of their way to get this person's attention. And I don't think that it's like they're a bad person or like they're like some nefarious character. But I think it's kind of more along the lines of like, this is dad who's out working, for 10 hours a day, comes home, isn't really into all the noise and doesn't want to play immediately. And the kids are like yelling and screaming and running around and on top of him, and it just turns into this kind of bickering, anger, frustration, overstimulation. This is what we're seeing here. It feels like a lot of exhaustion and overstimulation. Now, you can feel a lot of empathy and try to, smooth things over as much as you can. But the reality is you're just as exhausted, just as overstimulated as anybody else in this situation. So you are also, kind of fighting for your life here. You are trying not to get underwater. And so I feel like there needs to be almost kind of a turning down of the tempo, right? Slowing down, pumping them brakes a little bit. I think that it's almost kind of this energy of go, 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 go. And if you're not going, if there's not something happening, if somebody doesn't have like an activity or, a place to be or whatever, it's almost like you are starting to panic because it's quiet. It's at ease. There's nowhere you need to be. You don't need to be packing a bag or running here to grab this or, you're 5 minutes late or, whatever it is. And so you're almost like stuck in that high energy, high anxiety mode. And yet you want to, get to a place where you guys can start healing. The people around you can, start balancing and managing their nervous system. And so I feel like this is kind of the big question is like, how do we as a family, as a unit, as a small community, as, maybe it's your work family, how do we collectively decide to all move towards kind of bringing it down a notch, right? Like maybe figuring out a new system because whatever you have in place is just not working for you or anybody else. Not in the long run anyways, okay? So I think that's the big thing. We also have a bird right here and it looks like a seagull. And this is a separate person. We also have C-O-N, so Con. It could be a name like Connie or Connor or something, but also it could be like Con, like this person is a con artist. I feel like it's family. I'm sorry to talk about your family like that. But I know, and I do, listen, And no offense if my family's listening. I mean, full offense, actually. Full offense. I come from a family of just pretty awful people for the most part. I love you, some of you guys. I'm not going to say I love all of you, and most of them have passed away, but I mean, just like, I'm scared to get a DNA test because I'm scared if I do, like with one of those, 23andMe or whatever those things are. I'm scared that somebody in my family will go to prison. Like, that's the kind of family I come from. I don't know who did what. Don't tell me. And if I do know, I'm never saying. But yeah, I feel like I don't want to be the snitch in the family. Let's just say that. So when I say this so easily, it's because it's familiar to me. To say, oh, we got a con artist in the family. Well, I just wonder what you're talking about. So that's not to say I am. By the way, I come from poverty. That's ultimately poverty, addiction, mental health issues. Those, the holy trinity of, just a mess, right? And I don't know. I'm not going to say like I'm the best one. I'm not. But man, has it been hard and many years of digging out of that world and becoming something else completely. It's not easy. And I will say, I do also say these things so easily because game recognized game, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I meet somebody out there and I know that they came from hell and I know that nobody helped them. In fact, probably most of the people in their life stood in the way and made it harder on purpose. And yet you still figured it out. You still are figuring it out. Bro. We family. Forever. Period. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care, how old you are, whatever. It does not matter. If game recognized game, we see each other, and we do. You do. You link up with people who have the same kind of energetic story. It happens. So when I see these kinds of people, and I meet these kinds of people, I know these are my people. These are my people. But yeah, I feel like you have somebody in the family. back to you. Just grimy. Will show up asking. You just gave, asking for more, and then throwing a fit if it's not the right thing. Like, it's like a teenage kid, but it's not your kid, and it's not a teenager. This is a full adult. And I feel like for you, you're just not having it anymore. You are done with all of that because they have, really just kind of been unappreciative. I don't even think it's like a big, they really screwed you over type of deal. It's just the no appreciation and there's no ability to read the room. You just keep coming back. And I assume you're starting to realize that your helping is not necessarily in their best interests. You might be on the kind of line of enabling. And you're not going to do that. No Gemini is going to sit out here and watch somebody sink. You're, as bad a rap as you guys get for being moody and switching a lot and, I don't know, being fake, I guess. I don't think it's fake. I think you're just so many different versions of yourself, which is beautiful and shifting and mercurial. You're ruled by Mercury. It makes sense. Most people can't handle it because they don't have the capacity. They don't understand. They are not living on a quantum scale, right? Like you are. And so, I feel like people can think that, you guys are mean. You're whatever. It's not true. You will give people a million chances. You are far from judgmental. But dude, you're not going to stand around and just watch something go down that you know is not right or you do not agree with. And you're just going to be like, oh yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You're not a Virgo like me. I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. Did you see what they just did? Yeah, that's me, the Virgo. Also mercurial, by the way. Ruled by Mercury. But yeah, I can see this being either a really big deal at the end of the day. It's like, holidays are ruined kind of deal. Or it kind of being like, all right, I see you. I have been doing this for so long. And now we change this. And I see you kind of, retreating, like slowly, quietly, disengaging, doing the long ghost. That's what I like to call it, the long ghost. You start to skip days of texts, and next thing you know, you haven't talked in a week, and after that, you haven't really seen each other in a couple months, and yeah. The long ghost. All right. We also have. I want to go this way. What else do we have? Dollars. Monies. We have the number 873. 873. We have the letter J. J seems to be an important one this week. We have an empress and an empress. Or maybe it's an empress and the high priestess. Okay. So I feel that you are somebody that maybe, really you could be divining. You could be doing what I'm doing. I think that you are very in touch with the other. You dwell within the borderlands, maybe not as profoundly as some people. Like if you look at like a Capricorn, for instance, if they're really like tied into the divine, the in-between, the gray lands, these are people that will just abandon life. Like you won't hear from them for years. They're off in their own, silent meditation lifestyle forever. But you get a Gemini, you walk between all things, right? Like you're the person that went to school. Excuse me, I'm drinking coffee. You're the person that went to school and you had friends in every group. Like you didn't belong to a certain group necessarily. You might have had like your little unit. You're like, 3 best friends or whatever. But you were accepted by it. You could go hang out with like the rugby team people and football people. And then you could go over and hang out with the theater people and, the death heads. And these are all like social groups from my life back when I was a kid. I don't know what they have now. I have no clue. But yeah, you could just like chill with everybody, right? And I'm like this too. I was always like this. I could float among, but I always called us floaters because we didn't belong to any group, but we were like always invited to everything, and like, everybody was cool with us. And I don't know. I had only a couple enemies in high school. And that was just stupid boy stuff or girl stuff that was going on romantically, So I see there just being this openness with you. I just feel like people come to you for advice. They really do. I feel like, and listen, I'm not like the capitalist, whatever, crazy lady, but yeah, you got to make money, bro. We all have to make money. We all have to eat. We all have to pay our bills. We all want to take care of our people. You know, how we do that, I don't always like, you know, but it is what it is, what it is. And, I feel like this is actually going to be a potential career for you if you get into counseling, maybe like social work. Maybe you are doing divination, doing readings. Maybe you are some kind of life coach or even like a trainer or I don't know, something. But I feel like you are good at guiding people in a way that's not like you're a drill sergeant or you're the, you know, coach of a big team or something. No, you're good at one-on-one. Like every person that comes into your life, like in your personal sacred life, sacred space, their lives are always made better. And they might not necessarily think that or see that like instantly if you said that to them, but the reality, because listen, this is why you're challenging. You challenge people. They might see it as like, yo, this fool is hecka confrontational about everything. But the reality is, no, you are coming into the situation knowing like, dude, this is like messed up. What are you doing? Who raised you? Who raised you? You know what I mean? Like, why are you living like this? Why are you treating people like this? Why are you, you know, whatever. And you're going to help them with a plan. You're going to help them like get on track. You're going to get them doing the things they need to do. Right? Now, you might just be saying like, Lenor, I'm a woman and I happen to also have relationships with men. So this is like, duh, this is what it's always like. I'm sorry. I know. But I know, I'm so pleased with myself when I can be low-key a little sexist, right? No, I know, I'm not. I know everything is nuanced and this idea of like, you know, all these constructs we place upon ourselves are distractions and attachments that keep me bound to this Malkuthian hellscape. But you know what? I also like to laugh at myself. I like to make little jokes here and there. They're my little treats, all right? So anyways, yeah, I feel like you could make money from this, doing whatever it is that you do or that you are interested in. Like I said, going to school for counseling or, you know, getting into some kind of, well, even they have things like, what is that thing, at the YMCA, like big brother, big sister, like stuff like that, where you're like mentoring. Maybe you have a skill set that you can take on an apprentice or something, you know, whatever it is. I feel like you make huge differences in people's lives. You're not easy. You're not going to half teach them. You are going to ride behind and make sure that they get it done. You're going to make sure that they do it right. You have high standards of things. People don't always like that. But you know what? When they're working with you, when they're, you know, with you in a relationship with you or living with you or, you know, being part of your life and you're part of their life, you are helping them evolve constantly, you know? So I think that this is like your big power. This is your superpower. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a look over here. We have the letter R. We have a house with a flower growing towards it. So I do feel like there's abundance right on the horizon here. There's going to be an onslaught of ways to make money. Now, we have a person standing here flying a kite. We have the number 4 behind. This is a warning, okay? as much as you are really good at getting things how they should be and really like building up like a business, a household, a family, all these things, you also can get distracted. You also get distracted when it is really important for you to be involved. So it's not that you can't handle the pressure. It's that you do sometimes, I think, default into coping mechanisms that keep you from really realizing your full potential. So it's like you get the job you've been working your butt off for, right? And I don't know, then you're at first you're there early, you go home late, you're doing all the stuff, and in a few months, it's going well and you're still progressing and all this, but then you're starting to show up 5 minutes late, then you're forgetting things, then you're and it's like all of a sudden you have this new goal or you have a new interest or whatever, and it's taking away from that direct focus, and you kind of sabotage yourself at times. Okay, so I think it's important to stay locked in. Okay, stay locked in. Now, what are we going to do? Oh, lucky numbers. I was like, where am I? Am I on Earth right now? It doesn't feel like it. Number 63. 63. It's Monday, and I have been sick for like a week. 62. I was feeling better yesterday. I woke up, I'm just feeling sick again. 100. So I don't know. It's just, you know what, you guys, and I'm in such good, like way better health, not to brag or anything, but I've been on this like excruciating wellness journey the last year and a half or so. And I'm supplementing and I'm eating well and, doing all this stuff, and I'm still getting sick. I have a kid in kindergarten, so, I obviously young kids and their germs, but I cannot handle another, a whole season of being sick like I did I was sick for months last year. And that was part of why I really, really leaned into my health journey, because I was like, I got the I don't know if we're even allowed to say COVID anymore, or if you can now on the algorithm, but I had it like twice, I think, last year, or maybe 3 times, but different strains of it. But the second time I got it, I just stayed sick for like 3 months. It was like almost summer, I think, when I finally was like, I could hear again and all of that. So it just nonstop stuff. Now I'm done complaining. I'll probably complain about it a few more times to other moms today, just to be honest with you, but yeah, I'm done now. A spirit animal. I am part of an intricate ecosystem. I give thanks for the singing birds, the pollinating insects, the beloved pets, and the vast network of wildlife. I am grateful for a world full of beautiful creatures, and I vow to make the earth a more habitable to make the earth more habitable for us to share. Practice. What animal are you most grateful for today? All right. Well, I want to say I love you because I do, and I thank you for being here. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, again, I'm going to say I love you, I love you, I love you. Please take care of yourself. I don't know. I think that's it. I'm looking for books on, like, I don't know. I'm deep in the sadhana tantra and studying of, and I don't know. I'm just looking for any kind of materials. If you have a book, PDF, or whatever, you can excuse me, comment that oh, excuse me, comment that in the comment section, or if you want to email me over at ulaishere@gmail.com, that would be awesome. Any kind of tantric stuff. And I mean, let me be very clear. Like yoga is a system of energetic manipulation or flow or whatever, right? Thus is Tantra, okay? I'm not talking about what comes to mind immediately for most people in the West. If you know, you know. All right, I love you. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.